Good morning, afternoon, or evening, ladies and gentlemen, Allincrypto here, and welcome back, guys, on this smashing Sunday for another daily cryptocurrency market update. As always, if you are new around here and finding yourself on my channel for the first time today, don't forget to check out that subscribe button because we drop an update just like this one around 1 p.m. UK time every single day to help you guys stay up to date with the latest and greatest things happening within the cryptocurrency market, but also the broader markets. That's exactly what we're going to be doing in this video. We're going to be predominantly focusing on the cryptocurrency markets as there is quite a lot of news, certainly in regards to regulations that have came out over the past sort of 48 hours. We did actually cover this yesterday in regards to Coinbase's chief legal officer reporting on the second circuit, i.e. in layman's terms, the secondary sale of crypto assets not being deemed as a security because there's no contract there, which I think is giving wider clarity on the fact that these cryptocurrencies aren't securities. Maybe they could be deemed as securities when the foundations sold them. And that's what the whole Ripple case, or Ripple, Brad and Chris case, was about. The fact that Ripple was selling them as if they were securities or tied to the company itself and its success. However, we got clarity yesterday that actually on the secondary market, so once the IPOs or whatever, or ICOs, initial coin offerings, not initial public offerings, then they're no longer securities, which kind of, this is the direction we think things are going. Generally, I don't believe that these cryptocurrencies are securities. I think some are, but the vast majority aren't. Certainly when you look at your layer one, proof of stake, and even the proof of work ones, I don't believe they are. So we're going to be covering that. We're going to be actually starting things off on the charts, and then we're going to be talking about Genesis. Now, we spoke about the fact that Genesis had finished selling their $2.1 billion of Grayscale BTC. Now, they've actually purchased $2.1 billion of actual Bitcoin recently, which is weird, but we'll cover that. So let's dive into things, guys. This is going to be quite a quick one because I've actually got a lot going on today. This is the plan for Bitcoin, and we've never deviated from it. In fact, we've been spot on in regards to getting back into the market when Bitcoin was 15, 16K. I have an entire community, and do check that link in the description, guys, if you want to become a Patreon. We think it's a very modest monthly fee for what you get. You get 2 weekly meetings with me. You get access to my community, my portfolio, and everything in between. It's not for everybody, and we only want people that want to be there. But this is the plan for Bitcoin. We still have that higher target. Bitcoin very much, we were saying, was reminiscent of what it did for, coming back up in the last bull market running into 2017's high. You can see this little stall box around all-time highs, and you expect resistance levels to act exactly as that. On the smaller time frames, in fact, let's just cover a bit more of a bigger time picture. So we've still got this broader target up to 151,000. We also, and this is a chart we still don't see anybody talking about, but this is going to be one of the most crucial charts for predicting where the altcoin market is going, and we think it's going to $3.7 trillion. So we expected resistance to act exactly as that. We wanted it to form this right shoulder. This would be a right armpit, and then that's going to give you a target to around about $3.8 trillion, which is a 3x for the entire altcoin market. Remember, this is excluding Bitcoin. It lines up with what we're seeing on Bitcoin. And also, something very interesting that kind of couples with all of this that we also don't see people highlighting, this is actually brought up by a community member of mine, is USDT dominance, which goes up in a bull market, down in a bear market. And we actually think there could be a target being formed for this to take it down to about 1.3%, which is going to support the bullish narrative. So nothing's changed from our technical perspective of the markets. We have got whole theory and law around why we think it gets there in regards to the macroeconomic situation and what we think is coming in regards to the liquidity cycles. And we've really gone to town on getting our narrative or our bias on the markets from multiple different sources. And when they all add up, when it walks and talks and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. And that's how we're able to ride a lot of the volatility that we see in the cryptocurrency space. I want to actually talk about Bitcoin on the short time frame. Now, we've been highlighting that this actually could set up for continuation to around about 81K. And I do think you are looking at this potentially. You've got a bit of a bull pennant, looks strong, a taking of, I actually think you've probably even broken out of this pattern. Certainly a taking of the 71K level is going to likely see you push towards 80. I think we're going to get we're still waiting for that real alt season to take place. We actually use Dogecoin as a bit of a barometer. If you look at when Bitcoin dominance rolls, it's usually when Dogecoin dominance starts to do well. If you look at when Dogecoin has its first pump, this is just a little bit of funny kind of technical work. It's usually when Bitcoin's at all-time highs. There's some interesting things there, but we're also looking at things like BTC dominance, ETH BTC, and of course ETH dominance we think is going to gain some real ground. And I think we're getting clarity of that to kind of wrap up the technicals, certainly with what we're looking at in regards to regulatory progress. And this was something we spoke about yesterday in regards to Coinbase's chief legal officer, Paul Grewal, coming out and saying it was a big win. So update on the Coinbase lawsuit, major breakthrough for the US crypto. Court rules crypto not securities on the secondary market. So what does that mean? To really break things down for people, it means that the sales on exchanges and on the secondary market do not constitute as securities. That's kind of what the whole case is about in regards to Coinbase selling unregistered securities. Well, cryptos have now been deemed non-securities on the secondary market. Take that, Gensler. And he, by the way, knows full well that they're not securities. He is stalling for the special interests that put him in power. If you think we live in a fair world, you are sadly mistaken. Nature is not fair. There's lots of gazelles get eaten by lions before they even really have a chance to enjoy life. This is the way things go. And I think when people try and implement fairness into an unfair world, it's when you start to get problems occurring, or even equality, really. Equality is a bit of a myth, I think, and they use it largely to divide and conquer the masses. We should all... Anyway, let's not get into all that. Coinbase has attained a significant milestone amid an ongoing lawsuit. The US Court of Appeals, Second Circuit, sided with Coinbase. The court confirmed that secondary sales of crypto assets by Coinbase do not violate Security Exchange Act. That means they are not securities. This is what sees Total 2, and we've always had this theory in mind, that the reason we get to that 3.7, and we've not even seen that altcoin market and bull market is going to come on the back end of regulatory clarity. You're going to get an Ethereum ETF, ETH BTC, and ETH DOM are signaling that. And then you're going to see things really getting rocking around. And remember, there's another chart that we also don't see people talking about, but we can bring up, which is others dominance. We've got that higher target. We're hitting target after target here. Anyway, so the plaintiffs in the case are plaintiffs, whatever. Anyway, we've basically covered the big news here. And that is that cryptocurrencies on the secondary markets are being sold after the initial IPOs or whatever it is, do not constitute securities, which means they are not securities. Take that from the horse's mouth. Coinbase are going to win that lawsuit. It's funny as hell how they, and remember, we've been in Coinbase since it was $30, $40. We've got that $400 target, which everyone laughed at. It's now nearly at $300. I don't want to go on about regulatory and the US and what a kind of joke the government is there. And it's not just the US, by the way, it's also the UK, and most governments are corrupt and not. We've gone from governments working for the people to the people being basically slaves to a government. Anyway, so we did cover this news. Genesis has finished selling $2.1 billion of its GBTC. So these guys, Genesis Trading was involved with FTX, DCG Group was what they're a part of, Barry Silbert or whatever his name is. The Winklevoss went after them because they got clarted by the whole thing. They've been one of the biggest sellers. Now, the interesting thing with this is Genesis purchased $2.1 billion of Bitcoin following GBTC sell-off. The significant Bitcoin purchase comes after Coinbase declared that the majority of proceeds from the GBT sell-off would remain within the crypto ecosystem. Bankrupt crypto lending firm reportedly offloads about $36 million shares to acquire Bitcoin at $69,000 as part of its preparation to settle its debts with creditors. Wow. So they've been selling only to buy actual Bitcoin. Now that's a twist for you, isn't it? So that's really what I've got for you guys. Like I said, I've got a hell of a lot going on today. Even though it's Sunday, crypto's a 24/7 market. The grind does not stop. And that's the attitude I think everybody should take. Just because other people are having a rest doesn't mean you or having a rest doesn't mean you particularly should. It's another work day for me Sunday. That's really it. So very interesting. Technically, everything is still very much on the course that we've set out for it. We like to be, and I really get a lot of joy out of coming out and being that steady hand in a rough sea. Whenever there's volatility in the crypto space, I see it in the comments, and you're making life so hard for yourself. Every time there's a drop in crypto, there's just anger, and I'm just confused with, I'm not necessarily confused with why that is, but it's what it is it's immaturity and prematurity when it comes to investing, certainly investing in crypto, which is a very volatile space. If you can't handle the heat, please don't be in the kitchen. We aren't one of those channels that pump coins to you guys and want you to buy certain things. I don't care whether you buy crypto or not. It's entirely your decision. If you see the opportunity in it like I do, sure. If you don't, stop wasting everybody's time. It's that simple. On that note, I'm going to leave you guys. Huge news in regards to basically cryptos not being deemed a security now in the secondary market, and the sale of them warranting a security. It means those cryptos aren't securities. And also some interesting news in regards to Grayscale. That's all I've got for you guys. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.